So here's where we're at, Scott. Sometimes my drawing is slow too, so we'll try this out. So what you've got now is we have two options that you can market with people to. So you have MLSP,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just going to put biz here. We're going to make this kind of generic, okay? Because everybody can benefit. So whatever your biz is for people who are watching this, it doesn't matter, okay? Whatever business you're trying to market or product or service, it's great. And what people don't realize is that both of these feed each other, okay? And there's different ways to attract different groups of people using these systems. So here's what happens, Scott. First of all, you have it's a great position to be in because you have MLSP and you have a business. So you
Correct.
have two different streams of income. So let's just start there. Now, what does that mean? It's two ways to make money. Okay, for those of you watching this who aren't familiar with that term, you have two ways to make money. Now, what we're talking about here is how does one feed the other? Well, let's just say that you're watching this video and you have a business and you're thinking about joining MLSP. Let's start with that point of view. First of all, with MLSP, you get unbelievable training. Okay, and I'm going to ride fast. You get chicken scratch on top of it all. But so you get training and you have an awesome community and you have leverage, which is huge. So for those of you watching this who might not be familiar with what that means, leverage is something you can say, well, listen, I'm not the expert yet. Okay, I'm working to be the expert. But what I can do in the meantime is I can take a collection of experts and tell people, listen, I'm the bridge. So anybody who has a business and is looking to improve the business, they're starting off at point A and they want to get to point B. But there's a big gap in between here. There's a big open space. So what you are is the bridge. And MLSP is the bridge because it provides training, community, leverage, and then fourth, it provides income. It helps your team. It helps you grow income. It helps your team grow income. It helps your team get training. It gives your team leverage. It does so many great things. So MLSP becomes that bridge. Now, the other thing that MLSP will do for you is that it's another part of your funnel. So again, if you're watching this and you're saying funnel, what does that mean? A sales funnel. So basically just imagine it being like a funnel is. It has a wider top, narrower bottom, right? So what we do is we just say, okay, how can we connect? And this pen is really acting up because I'm recording. But what you do is you say, okay, I want to get as many different people that I can connect with, either personally, online, whatever, into my information. Now, if you only had one thing to offer them, one business, then your funnel would be cut in half. And this side wouldn't be there. But because you have MLSP, you have two sides of the funnel. Okay, so let me see if I can erase this, and I think I can. No, I don't want to do that. Let me see. There should just be that eraser, but I'm not seeing it on this one. So here we go. So now because you have MLSP, you have both sides of the funnel. So your funnel's bigger. You can help more people with more things, which gives you an opportunity to serve people and ultimately to be able to help them and you generate more income. So again, with MLSP, and Scott, this is the benefit you have, is that you say, okay, I've got a business and I've got MLSP, so I'm getting the training to help grow my business. But simultaneously, I'm using that same training to help more people, which helps generate more income for them and me through a second income stream called MLSP. Okay? Now, you're saying, okay, Scott says, well, what if I want to just really focus on growing my business right now? Great. Okay? There's two ways that MLSP is going to help you do that. So let me shrink this down here. Let me move this over. Okay. Now, what happens is people join you. They are looking for leadership. They want someone to help them get to where they're going. The reason they're looking is because they don't have the skills yet, and they want to do something big, but they just don't know how to do it. So Scott's out there, and he says, okay, well, I'm going to put a capture page out there. So I'm going to use one of the MLSP pages that are converting very well. And he says, And by the way, anybody watching this, if you have questions about some of the vocabulary I'm using, please email me or whatever, call me, text me. I'll help you get the answers. But conversion means basically how many people are going to see the page and then how many people are going to take action on whatever the page is asking you to do, your call to action. So in this case, it'd be an opt-in page. You're asking people to opt in, give their information, their email, their phone number, their name, whatever they're asking for, in exchange for a training webinar. So we'll put train web. Okay, so exchange for a training webinar. So in this case, Scott says, okay, I'm going to put this this link out there on Twitter. He makes a video about some of the things that he learned. This is key, by the way. Watch the trainings you're offering to people. Okay, so you can speak from some value and saying I've done the training that I'm sharing with you. Here's the top 5 things that I learned from this training. Scott does a quick video about those top 5 things, just briefly explains them. Then what he does is, in his video on YouTube, right below the description box, he puts the link to this page right there in the description box. Somebody checks it on YouTube, clicks the link, goes over to the capture page, puts their information in, and gets this free training. Now, the person says, wow, Scott, that's great. This is great information. You know what? I'm interested in learning more about the trainings, the webinars, all the great things that MLSP offers. And so they get a link through the autoresponder that's set up right through MLSP, or they contact Scott directly. And hopefully Scott's doing a good job of following up with his leads. So that's another key point, the follow-up. So you have an autoresponder to follow up. An autoresponder is just something that once they fill in this form, it automatically sends follow-up messages via email. So they're already getting those. Scott follows up via phone if they give a good contact number there, or email. Scott can do either one personally. He follows up and they say, okay, cool, I'm really interested in checking out MLSP. Now, Scott has helped that person get the training they need to grow their business. Scott also generated some income for his own business. Now, the great thing is this is residual income. Let's be clear about that. That's money that comes in month after month, and Scott doesn't have to go do any more quote-unquote selling or helping or training because they're already there. Okay, they're just going to keep benefiting from the trainings with MLSP. Now, Scott says, okay, cool. While he's doing this, Scott, if he upgrades to a certain membership package like the Gold package, which is a $50 a month subscription. When he does, he can create his own custom autoresponders. Okay? So that's a benefit because Scott can send his own personal messages, his own experience, his leadership, guys, bring this down here, his leadership to those custom autoresponders, and he could also start to put some information there about his business. That's one way to do it. Now, remember, Scott's goal here is to give not just a pitch. He's not trying to give a sales pitch. He's trying to give value to people. He's trying to say, hey, if you know somebody, he might say, hey, listen, how are you doing with your energy? Are you happy with your appearance? Is there anything you'd like to improve upon? Do you know anybody that's trying to lose weight? I mean, you can ask a ton of different questions, and Scott can start to share information that way. Scott could share his story. That's a big one. Scott can share his story.
So we all need to share it.
Right. And remember, guys, stories sell, facts tell. So the goal here is tell a story in order to create a connection, and that equals sales. Okay? And again, guys, if you're listening to this, let's not be naive. Okay? The dollar is not the end game. Okay, your goal here is to try to help people, but you can also do that while you're making money. You don't have to feel bad about making money. I hope you don't feel bad about making money, because if you provide a great product or service or information or whatever you're doing with a great company and you're a great person working to give leadership, you should be paid for the work and the effort and the gifts you're giving to other people, and you'll pass that on to them. So again, the focus is not just money here, but let's be serious, we're in business. You have to make money to stay in business. So the goal here, again, help as many people as we can to get these resources from MLSP, to get the training, introduce your story that way. Another way you can introduce your business inside MLSP is very simply when you follow the steps to fill in the get started training. They allow you to complete there's like a step 2 and 3 in the process, and you can break down a little bit about your biography, a little bit of your history there, a little bit about your company. And so when somebody opts in, they get step 1. It's on a page. They get step 1, which is the training webinar. Okay, they get step 2, which is about you, and 3, which is about your business. So you're naturally sharing information with people in 3 different facets that are important, and it all comes as part of your custom funnel. Okay? And that's possible whether you're at the academy level for the 1995. This part right here, this 3-step part, is part of every level. The custom autoresponder is in the gold package and above. But again, just this part right here is already starting to create your brand in your marketing. Okay, so Scott, let me ask you this: Have you gone through setting up that portion of the about you and all those good things inside your get started training?
Yes. However, I haven't really put anything about my business in it. I mean, there's the part where you can put in like your websites and stuff like that, but in the actual bio section,
Yep.
I've written stuff about me, but not the business.
Okay, and I'm not asking. That's a great point, Scott. Let me be clear. I'm not asking you to pitch your business in there, guys. What I'm suggesting is you share your passion.
Yep.
Okay. You say, let me shrink this down.
Or I can even give you an example if you want.
Go right ahead, Scott.
All right. In mine, for those of you who don't know, and I'm not going to get into too much, but I happen to be visually impaired. I tend to think that my story can certainly do no harm, but a heck of a lot of good for people who, maybe everybody knows somebody that has some type of a limitation. I refuse to ever call it a disability or the dreaded H word, because to me it's neither.
Right.
Maybe an obstacle that people might want to call it, but nonetheless, it's there. But I want people to know that I'm passionate about inspiring people and helping people out. And in fact, if it's okay, is it all right if I read my little bio on
Yeah,
here?
do that.
Okay. So, hello, everyone, and thanks so much for checking out my page. We all have a story, and I would like to share mine with you. I have been legally blind since birth, but refuse to allow that to become an excuse. I have battled throughout my life to achieve goals most people said were not attainable for me. In high school, I played for our school's football team and even became a place kicker during my senior year. During my adult years, I have had another obstacle hurled at me, 70% of those who are visually impaired will not find work that allows them to be self-sufficient. I have a BA in communications. Sadly, I faced ignorance and discrimination from numerous prospective employers. I could have folded the tent long ago, but there was no way I could give my detractors that satisfaction. Besides, I wanted to inspire others, especially those who have limitations due to their physical health, that they can be someone and something important. I know I was put on this planet to teach, educate, motivate, and inspire. I am always available to help transform the lives of others. This is my purpose. This is my blind ambition.
Excellent. Yep. Very good, Scott. And obviously, Scott, you have different things that you also are interested in, and you're a sports fan, and you also are passionate about helping people lose weight and how that's helped transform your life, and you've got a lot of gifts to offer people. So what Scott did there, for those people listening to this, he shared his first, obviously his primary passion in helping people and inspiring people, and he could also include things in there about his weight loss and his interest in sports and all those good things. And then in the section where he puts information about his business, now this is the key, guys, where they ask you about your links and information about your business. You don't just have to take somebody over to the company page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can make your own funnel, but most people just take the standard company website, which is okay if that's what you want to do, but you have to be the bridge. Okay? The company website has to answer some pretty significant questions. And the biggest one is, what's the result that the person's going to get from working with you, your product, your service? Okay? And you have to form a connection, some trust and rapport at some point, if you're going to ask them to join you in any kind of a network marketing, direct sales type of business, and you're going to say, I'm here to help you through that. I'm helping you if you want them to use your products and services. Again, that trust and rapport is huge in the process of building that success. So when you put that link in there, you can send them to any page you want. So choose a page that you feel best represents you. Okay? That gives you the best opportunity to succeed, to help a person, to, get that mission, that vision across to people. All right. So Scott, I mean, when we first started this conversation, and the reason we went down this path is to show people that you could do both of these tools help grow the business. Now Scott says, okay, listen, he started off, he says, all right, what do I do with MLSP? Well, again, he took some of the information that he had out there that he learned in one of the webinars up here on the capture page, made his quick video, put the link down there, a person checked it out, said they're interested. Now he has an opportunity to share his business. Now, then he has somebody who's in MLSP with him. Perhaps they're interested maybe in trying the product. Maybe they never, ever, ever think about joining him in a business because they already have one. But maybe their business has nothing to do with the product or service that Scott's offering. So maybe the person says, wow, hey, this is good for me. Even though I'm not going to use it as a business, perhaps I could just use the product or service to help me. Or perhaps I know someone else who might benefit from that product or service. Because again, here, guys, the goal is partnership.
Yeah.
Okay? Partnership. That's the goal here. So if you can do that, you just never know where that one connection will lead. So now Scott says, okay, I've got the person into my MLSP funnel. I've got the person looking at my personal business funnel here. That's great. Okay, now let's just say for the sake of discussion that the person says, you know what, I'm interested in doing something different. I like the training with MLSP, so I'm going to continue with that. And I'm also interested in the business that Scott's doing. So now I'm going to join that. But here's what you've done with extraordinary leadership. Is you've shown the person, you've provided the person with the first-class training in MLSP that'll work in conjunction with whatever business you're doing. You've shown the person how to use MLSP to help build a team. You've shown the person that both of these things will work together. So again, you've really given that leadership that helps build those teams. Now let's say for a moment that Scott did not connect with a lead or a person in this fashion, but yet he found them first by applying some of the information from MLSP in marketing his business. So let's say that somebody was interested in one of Scott's business, and they found him through one of his business funnels. So let's just put biz funnel here. They came to Scott. They said, wow, this is some great information, Scott. Cool. I want to join you. And well, first, let's say they want to use your product or service. So I'll just label it P or S, right? Then they say, great, Scott, you know what? I'm really interested in checking out your business. So they move to that and they want to do the business with you. Then Scott automatically introduces them to MLSP. Okay? Because he knows the best thing he can do is get them the best training for success. Okay? So what he's done here is that he's used and leveraged both things to their maximum potential and to work together. Now, if this person's an MLSP that started off by checking out his business funnel with using the information that Scott learned and the training that Scott learned in MLSP, they checked out his business funnel, checked out his product or service, they checked out his business, they joined him. Scott directs them over to MLSP. Now again, Scott has shown the person how to build some teams. He's got a working funnel that he can reproduce for someone to help them build their funnel. Then he says, okay, I've got 2 streams of income, and more importantly, he's shown his team how to do 2 streams of income. Okay? So his team sees income from 2 sources. Does that make sense, Scott?
Yes.
Okay. So now that we've cleared that up, let me go ahead. Well, first of all, before I move it, do you have any questions about how these work in conjunction, Scott?
No.
Okay, beautiful. Now, let me go ahead and shrink this down. And let's talk specifically, without saying, the specific company, because we're going to keep this pretty general. What questions do you have about how to start marketing either one of these, Scott?
MLSP.
Okay.
There's still a lot of information that I need to learn about in terms of, I've been doing the training, I've been going through everything, but there's still a lot in terms of like when somebody asks me, okay, what is MLSP? I'm putting my link out there.
Yep.
How do I generate people over to it specifically?
Okay. So what have you done using? Well, let's do this, Scott. So
Okay.
far, and Scott just got in, by the way. So this is not a question of production that I'm asking him. I'm just asking him: have you had one lead yet, Scott?
No.
Okay. Now, my question is, so far, what is the approach that you're most interested in marketing? What social media or what resource are you interested most in marketing with?
Well, I know one thing we talked about, and it's been driven hard to us, are the webinars
Yes.
and trying to get people to do that. I really liked the social media insanity one.
Yes.
I thought that was an excellent one.
Okay. So
That's
this
the one that I've been pushing probably the hardest. But let me ask you this too: are there any one of those that have been more popular or more, I guess, successful than others in terms of getting other people interested in?
Good question. I guess here's my answer to that. There's two things I would consider, Scott. First of
Okay.
all, I would consider there's two ways to market the webinars. There are campaigns with capture pages, so I'll put CP. A capture page or squeeze page is just a page that has a form on it somewhere on the page, either on the side or under a video, that says, hey, if you're interested in getting this training, put your name, email, phone number in here, and when you do, I'll send you right over to some free training. Okay, that's what a capture page is. So you say, okay, there's these pages set up from previous webinars and previous trainings done, and then there's the live webinars that you can market. Okay, every week MLSP has a live webinar that you can actually send people links to attend, and there's a campaign inside MLSP specifically to give people information to come and check out these live webinars. So Scott, my question for you is this. First, which one of these or both would you like to market?
Ooh. I would probably want to do both. And by the way, apparently, and I'm guessing this is what this means, it says MLSP system campaigns. It says IMPR, which I'm totally not sure what that is.
Okay.
Then it says unique, and there's numbers in a column. Then there's conversions, and there's zeros in a column. Sales conversions, 0 in a column. Ditto
Yeah.
with MLSP. Ditto with 0 with scans, and then it says operations next to it.
Right. What you're looking at, Scott, are the statistics. We're
Okay.
focusing right now, and the reason I'm not switching over to share that live screen is because that's a back office issue, and we're going to use this for training for people who might consider coming into MLSP. Okay.
I hope I didn't make a screw up, by the way.
Right. So you're fine, Scott. You're doing great. So here's what I'm saying to you is that by the way, the IMPR is impressions. It means the number
Okay.
of page views. How many people have seen it?
Got
okay.
it.
Now, let's talk about this. You're looking at the results of the campaigns. Those aren't actually the specific campaigns, right? So I'll
Right.
show you. Do you know where to get the links to the specific campaign, Scott?
Is it where it says there's like a thing next to the, what do you call it? The magnifying glass?
Yeah, exactly. You can click on it, and it looks like almost like a wing nut or something like that, for the lack of a better word. And you can click on that, and when you do, there'll be a pop-up, and
Yeah.
it'll show the different links you can send to people.
Yep, I see that. And then there's the one that I've been doing, although maybe I've been doing this wrong, which is the show swipe copy.
Oh, for your emails and stuff?
Those are what I've been posting on like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that.
You can, but you know what, Scott? I mean, remember, they're written by very intelligent, very skilled people. So try them out, absolutely. Okay,
Right.
Those are good. Those are great starting points. So swipe copy is a great place to start. And for those of you who don't know what that means, swipe copy is basically some ad copy that's already written for you, and you can just copy it and use it in your ads, your emails, whatever you're doing. Okay. But Scott, what we're getting at here is that you're saying, okay, I want to drive some traffic to MLSP. First of all, and I'm going to be very clear, watch the training video. Okay, so whatever you're offering to people here, whatever capture form you're offering to people, go ahead and opt in, put your own personal information in there, and then go over and watch the free training and take notes. Okay, so watch and take notes. Okay, so watch and take notes. That's the key there. Number two, once you're done, you're going to decide, okay, let's take the top 5 things that I learned from this specific training. Now, I have 2 suggestions here. Get out
Okay.
and do some of it. So apply it
Okay.
and get some results. Because you can talk about real, tangible results at that point. While you're doing that, you can also do a video. So I'll put a video. You can do a blog for those of you who like that. You can send out a tweet, a Facebook post. You can run an ad for those of you who are into advertising, like PPC on Facebook or wherever. There's a lot of different resources. Okay, you can do solo ads. I mean, for those of you who might be familiar with that, there's a lot of different marketing you can do. Okay, so you go out and do it, and also summarize it and then share it. Okay, so find out which thing. I mean, if you like making videos and it's easy for you to do, then shoot a quick video. Say, hey, listen, this is so and so, and I just want to share some very important things. The top 5 things I picked up on this particular subject. You say the name of the subject. You go through, give a very brief explanation. Your goal here is to create an itch. You want people to say, I want to learn a little more about what you're offering, to get them to say it's worth an exchange of putting in my information to get over here to the free training. Okay? So then the person says, oh, okay, cool. This is interesting. I want to take a look at it. They opt in. They get the free training. They're a lead for you. And then you go do your work and following up. Let the system with your autoresponders follow up and help the person get exactly what they need. Okay?
Sure.
So you provided the information. They got some sort of a connection. Now that's one way to do it. Some of you like to write. So a blog would be very easy to do. Some of you say, okay, listen, like Scott said, I just want to use some of the swipe copy. And there's some available ad copy that you can just go copy, summarize a few things, make a couple tweets, and put the link to this page, this capture page here, right inside there, and let people go over and check out what you have to offer. Okay, but what you're going to find, guys, anybody who's watching this, what you're going to find is that the more relationships you build, the more trust and rapport you have, the more someone gets a connection with you, the better the conversions will be. The more likely that the other person who you're connecting with will see the value in what you're offering, will want to try it, and then ultimately will become partners with you in whatever business you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so Scott, taking this information, what specifically have you tried, or what haven't you tried yet?
Oh God. Let's see. Can you do me a favor and enlarge that up again so I can see it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see here.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Push that up. That really makes a lot of sense. Nice English, Scott.
Here, let's see here. Let's see if I can make it bigger again.
Okay.
Okay, now you just because I know it's by chicken scratch. It's going to be hard for you to read.
No, that's all right. The swipe copy, I've obviously done
Yep.
plenty of that. I don't feel like I've created enough of an itch.
Okay,
I mean, like I said, I did make a YouTube video,
which is great.
but there needs to be more of that.
Right. And
I certainly need to get a 100% concrete plan to do something that I know we're going to talk about at another concept, and it's something, or at another training, and it's something that I want to hit hard on, and that's attraction marketing.
Yep.
Because I've watched enough videos, I've heard enough people talk about it. It makes so much sense, and it can bust a lot of doors wide open. And it's not that hard to do, but yet it's one of the things that not a lot of people have been doing.
Right.
I want to get there.
Yep.
Something that is important to anybody in a business is uniqueness.
Yes.
I definitely want to do some things that want to make me stand, apart from everybody else.
Sure.
So
Good.
all of those things that you put, a blog, I can certainly do that. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how much time I'm going to put into the blog.
Then don't do it.
I mean, there are a lot of people like Ray Higdon.
Yes.
Or not a lot, but there are some people like Ray Higdon who have kicked a lot of butt doing blogs and are making tons of money doing it.
Yep.
For me, for right now, I want to do something else that I feel, because quite honestly, for me, if you do a blog, it takes, and understand, this isn't get rich quick, none of this is.
Right.
But a blog is something that takes a lot of time. It's very time consuming, takes a ton of effort.
Well, and Scott, to be
Or it's at a
fair,
slower pace than a lot of other things do, like a video.
sure, but to be fair, I mean there are certain people who it's very easy for somebody to write, and they do it very quickly. Versus, or they outsource it, which I can talk to you guys about, later on in another webinar. But so I mean, everybody has their strength, and Scott feels like okay, videos are easier for him to do, right?
A lot easier.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying though, Scott, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the video that I saw you make was kind of talking about some general information, and it wasn't real specific to an MLSP capture page, right?
No, it was not.
Okay, so what I'd suggest is this. Find the topic that people are interested in. Like, for example, they have a YouTube training inside your basic MLSP offer. Did you see the YouTube training, Scott?
No, I have not yet.
Okay, so check that out, and take the notes, and when you're done, make your quick video of your top 3, top 5, top 7, whatever the number of tips you have that you picked up, and then put the link right below the video in the description box. Okay?
Gotcha.
At the very least, do that. But there's some other things I can teach you guys. And this gets into the bigger picture, like keywords, for example. Okay? This is a little more complex, not a big deal. Okay? Do not allow yourself to say, oh, this is overwhelming. It's only overwhelming. Overwhelm, again, for those of you who haven't heard this before from me, overwhelm is every time we learn something new, pretend that our mind, our understanding is kind of like a rubber band. Okay? Yep. And every time we learn something new, it pushes the rubber band out just a little bit. Okay? Well, sometimes when we don't feel competent, or there's so much information that's being put in to the rubber band, or stretching the rubber band, sometimes we feel like it's going to snap, when in reality it's not. It's just really pushing our comfort zone and saying, now what we learned is much bigger. We have so much more to learn. So when you learn to train yourself to say, every time I start to feel this uneasiness when it comes to learning, first of all, condition yourself to welcome it, because that means you're about to learn something new. And if you understand that this is not rocket science, you're not being asked to solve world hunger, you're not being able to ask to put a person on Mars. All you're all you're doing is saying, okay, I'm going to watch a video, I'm going to read something, I'm going to listen to something, I'm going to learn a skill, I'm going to go out and practice it. Okay, so starting with that understanding is really important. So it's very important we talk about that. Now, Scott, And again, just remind me here, we were talking about getting you over to that keywords in YouTube, right? That's kind of the focus for you right now. Okay, so when you look at a keyword is actually any word or phrase that people are searching for on the internet.
Yep.
Okay, so what you can do is go over and check out a tool called the Google Keyword Tool. And I have some training on this, guys, so you can ask me for this, all right? But you can go, and then Google's always changing things, Facebook, all these people and systems are changing, and I saw something that this tool is going to change soon as well. So if you're watching this and things have changed, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be some resource, at least I believe there will, that people can go search how many people are looking for a specific word or phrase. So my point here is this. If Scott said he was doing a video on Twitter, okay, and well, let's change this. I'm going to look at my room here for my office. I just want to share. If Scott said that he was doing a video on yellow Post-it notes, that's what I see in front of me here. Okay, so we're just going to put YPN. Okay, yellow Post-it notes. So if Scott said he was going to make a video on yellow Post-it notes, and he made just an outstanding video, but he only got 2 leads. Scott might be saying, well, why is that? Well, what if he went to go do a search and he found that only 100 people in America a month search for yellow Post-it notes? Okay? And so my point is that you want to make videos and information and blog posts and all the stuff that you're sharing, you want it to be relevant to what people are searching for. So first of all, before you make a video, decide what you're trying to share information about. What keyword or phrase are you trying to share information about? And then make sure that you start looking into what's called SEO, which is search engine optimization. Again, search engine optimization. So,
Three very important letters, by the way.
I'm sorry?
Three very important letters.
Yes, they are. They're hugely important because if you start to learn about this, and remember that's the discussion of overwhelm over here with the rubber band, okay? Remember, this is just some very basic information to give you a target to aim for. You don't have to hit the target the first time you try. The goal here is expanding the knowledge so you can start to know what to do. I would hate to have you make a video or write a blog or do all this work and not have a search result because you didn't have a category that people want to look for, or you didn't understand how to get it ranked so people could find it. Because as we know, when people search Google on that first page, there's 10 spaces, plus some ads over here and some ads up here, right? But most people, like 86, I think it was the percentage, 86% of people ignore these ads, okay? So it's a very important thing to understand that it doesn't matter if you're right there or not, okay? But what matters is being on 1 through 10. This is where like 95 or 98%, it's a very high number, percent of the purchases are done, okay? So my point to you is that whatever you're trying to get ranked for, whatever you want people to see your video or your tweet or your blog or your page, make sure that your keyword is getting people searching for it, and then learn how to do search engine optimization. If you're watching this video and you're saying, okay, it makes sense, but I don't know how to do it, that is all the reason more that you need MLSP. Okay? Because you're going to be able to get specific training on that. And if you can't get the training on it, if you don't see something in there that's going to help you, that you're like, okay, I have a basic understanding of it, but I want more, then ask me or anybody in our MLSP team or our business teams here, and we will get you some resources. But MLSP has top-notch trainings. As part of the MLSP packages, by the way, guys, there's different offers at different times of the year with different things that they do. But currently, as we're watching this video today, okay, and today is July 14th, 2013. So as you're watching, or as I'm making this video for you today, as the Mastery package, okay, which is like $149 a month, there's
One of these days I will be there.
Yeah, amen to that. But there's a ton of value attached to it. I have a whole big list. But one of the things that they currently are offering, not forever, okay, I'll be very clear, I did not say forever, but currently they have access to the entire training library. So what that means is you can go back over years of webinars, special trainings, all those things that are offered. You could search by category. So you could literally search by SEO and get access to tons of trainings about SEO. Okay, and that's currently at the mastery level. Again, as it sits today, it might not be there tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. But I'm telling you that there are all different kinds of offers, so you might want to check that if you're interested in being able to get access to all the YouTube trainings they've ever done, or blog trainings, or all those things. Another benefit for those of you who might be interested in this level, besides the training library, is that you have the opportunity to get 100% commissions on certain product sales and certain system sales. So again, the commission, so the income you can generate is much higher at this higher level of membership. So just something to think about right there as you're watching this, if you're interested in that level of MLSP. So again, Scott, you're saying, so I would pick this. Let me shrink this down. Scott, if I was you, I would decide I'd go pick a training to watch that you're interested in. Take the notes, go apply some of it, and make a video. Okay? So that's the steps I gave you guys over here. Watch it, take the notes, apply, and then make a video or whatever you're going to do. That's step 3, and that was over here on the side. So you guys can watch that part again on the replay. So again, that's what I would recommend. I know, Scott, you said you're interested in videos, Twitter, all those good things. There's tons of training there. Take the notes, do the work, and then go start sharing that information there.
Gotcha.
Okay, Scott, below the trainings that I showed you in that area that I made in that custom video, the one that was just like a 2-minute video showed you where to go find the trainings you wanted?
Yes.
Okay, at the very bottom of that page, there are different advertising training videos. Did you see those?
No.
Okay, go watch them. Okay.
Okay. They're where? At the bottom of where now?
The
I'm sorry.
the 2-minute video I sent you in that email, the link I sent you,
Yes.
that showed you where to get the Twitter training,
Yep.
they're right below it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they're little links, they're little icons. It talks about different advertising methods that you can do to be able to start to get leads.
Gotcha.
Okay, so check that out. For those of you who are watching this and you might already be an MLSP, when you go and it does, again, if we're just talking about the academy level, that $19.95 a month, because we're just going to take it from the very basic level. Okay, when you're looking at the academy level, there are some very basic step-by-step training modules that they have. And they're broken down. They talk about social media. They talk about advertising. They talk about all marketing, all these different things. So there are training videos right there for you that you can go back to watch.
Yep.
So you guys will find theirs, and if you're having any trouble finding, which you should not be, because again, the system walks you through where to go to find all this stuff. But if you have any questions, get in touch with me or Scott or whoever happened to introduce you to MLSP, and we'll be here to help you do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly. So, Scott, my question is for you. In this conversation, you came to me and said, okay, I want to be able to start to get some more leads, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, if you go watch those trainings, that's going to talk to you about some of the advertising. The 3 steps that I gave you about watching some of the webinars, taking the notes, go applying what you're learning, and then also make your video, in this case, because that's what you like to do, make a video and share it to YouTube. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. Okay, you have the ability to track that. Okay?
Yes.
Scott, you have, number one, MLSP does the tracking for you. Okay? So when you put your link out there in your back office MLSP, it's going to track how many people have seen it. The impressions, that's what it's called. The IMPR is what it's listed at. That's how many people have seen the video. Conversion is how many people opted in that case.
Okay.
And then your sales are how many people purchased after they got that training.
I got you.
So those things are listed, and they give you percentages, guys, so you'll know exactly how these things are working for you. But again,
So all this stuff, by the way, on the screen is stuff that's in relation to me. Then.
I'm sorry?
So all this stuff that we're with impressions and all this stuff that I'm looking at right now are all in relation to my stats.
Correct.
Okay.
Those are specific to your link to that campaign.
Okay. Now I'm liking that I have impressions, but obviously now we need to figure out. Now we need to turn those into conversions.
Right, and when we're done with this part, I'll hop off, and then you're going to have to share your screen to show me what you're seeing.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, Scott, have I answered the general questions you had?
Yes.
Excellent. Do you have any other general questions you want me to go over?
No. Well, I'll have specific questions that are related to MLSP when we're done, but no.
Okay. All right, good. So let's do this. Let me go ahead and pause this recording, okay? And then we'll answer those specific questions here in just a second. Anybody watching this video replay, if you have any questions, like I always tell you, we're here to help. Get in touch with me or Scott or whoever happened to introduce you to this recording, and let us help you. We're here to do